is an amazing director to work for. And I say that because he knows his shit. He's smart as hell. He appreciates the medium. He appreciates the people that do it. But I saw it firsthand with the difference of what we call director time specifically. Director time was a period where if you had something to show the director, we would all gather in a room and we'd project our work through a computer and a projector onto a pull-down screen in a large room, and he would give us feedback. And I didn't really appreciate till we had an accident happen one day where the screen, it's like a screen that you used to have in your classroom, the screen wouldn't come down. And some smart production person said, well, let's just push in a whiteboard and we'll project it on a whiteboard, a dry erase board. And that right there was the genius, because Brad realized, oh, it's on a whiteboard. So I can take a dry erase marker and I can draw the expression I want or the pose I want. And there was no miscommunication. He would block the screen it's like, hold it on that frame, block the screen, and you go, here's the expression I want on Hogarth. And everyone like, oh my God, that's genius. I know exactly what you want now. He always had his brain trust next to him, which was like Tony Fuccelli, Dean Wellens, Jeff Lynch, Mark Andrews. And if he wasn't sure of something, he'd turn to them and go, what do you guys think? Well, what I saw was PAs, in between, anybody who said, oh, I really like that, or I think that could be better, Brad would listen to them very respectfully and lots of very courteous. He had a lot of courtesy, let them make their suggestions. Nobody ever felt bad about speaking up. But Brad would appreciate their feedback. And if he felt like it was a better way to do it, a different way, he could explain that. And everybody was like, oh yeah, you're right. He did it in a way that you're like, well, if I expressed myself, but he's right. His vision, his thought about how it should play out makes way more sense.
Yeah.
But he would give everybody that chance. And I loved that about him. But what also did is he built this camaraderie, this motivation in everybody. Everybody wanted to make that film the best they could.
Yeah.
And there were times when Brad would come in and go, okay, the lot is trying to cut our budget for whatever reason, we got to get this other stuff out. And a lot of times we found out later what he was doing is he was cutting the animatics to look like animation so he could take it to the lot and go, well, it's already pretty far along in animation. We've already spent a bunch of money on it. We might as well keep it in. So Brad was, because they didn't know the process. He knew that, and he used that to his advantage. But he was so smart. And then I also watched Brad in his talks, whether it was with story or the animators or the directors. He's like a chess champion who's thinking 2 or 3 or 4 steps down the line, and he's thinking sound effects, he's thinking music, he's thinking color, he's thinking mood. In his brain, he knew about all that, emotional stuff that everybody gets caught up in. That was his thing, his ET influences or his Close Encounter or whatever it is. He knew where he wanted to pull everybody's heartstrings, and whether it was through color or an emotion.